Thank you guys very much. My name is Manu Gupta. I'm one of the founding general partners of Lakestar with Klaus. He gives his apologies, and because of the fact that I had to do this presentation last night at 10 p.m., I'm going to keep it very, very short, and then we can actually spend more time during the discussion with Fabrice. So I thought I'd start off and talk to you a little bit about us. Who is Lakestar? We don't advertise very much. We're a team that invests in outstanding entrepreneurs worldwide, and this is our entire website. But who are we exactly? We grew. We're now 14 members. We've got previous founders. We've got coders, myself included. I used to be a coder and engineer for many years of my life. We've got product managers. We now have a CTO on our team. And I'm really sorry to say we still have bankers and lawyers. We cover 6 core geographies. And I'll get to this, why it really matters, this concept of globalization. So we cover San Francisco and New York. And in Europe, as a core focus, we have 3 main geographies, which are the ecosystems you know very well. Berlin is one of our big hubs, and we've done quite a few investments in Berlin. And now we're rolling out Hong Kong, and we've made our first investment in China as of late last year. We've raised $550 million in 3 years, and we have a very global investor base. The current fund that we're investing out of is about $400 million, so we have the capital in Europe to be able to deploy larger and larger checks. That's important for this ecosystem. And we've made 45 investments. People don't realize that, but in 3 years, we've made 45 investments. Some of the names that we've been privy to, we're really fortunate to have some of these logos that we've invested in early, and we really think about category killers. How do we get involved in companies that could be market defining? And I'm probably very excited about these logos. I've sat on the board of Go Euro for many years, for example, as one of our Berlin stars. But the stuff that I really get excited about is the early stage stuff that will continue to add to the logos here on this webpage. And we do this without blogging, tweeting. We don't have detailed websites. For the life of me, I have no fucking clue what I should blog about. But let me come back to this global perspective. How do we find great opportunities? We deploy more than 50% of our capital in Europe. And we think this is an amazing ecosystem. It will continue to develop. And our sourcing mechanism is through the seed ecosystem that's developed here. Now, these are only just some of the logos. There are many, many more. But some of these logos are brand new in the last 3-4 years, and we're really proud to work with them. Also, you know, Europe had this knock, and I'm from San Francisco all of my life, so I can say this credibly. When I came to Europe, it had this knock against it, saying, hey, look, it's a copycat infrastructure. But I spend more and more time with Entrepreneurs First and Oxford Innovation, and I really genuinely see true technology being built out of Europe. And that's what we really want to focus on at Lakestar as well. And what we do is we help these companies expand into the United States. We help them with fundraising, introductions to VCs. We help them with PR, recruiting. And we've done that for a couple of logos here, noted. But because we're spending so much time in the US as well, we also spend some of our capital there. And Europe is a really tough place to navigate. I mean, I remember 10 years ago when I was working in San Francisco, and we would say, well, what does it mean to come international? That would be come into London, get your fish and chips, and say, yay, I'm international. But truly, today, Amazon's biggest market outside of the US is Germany. Navigating the European markets is very challenging, and we really want to be helpful. And we've done it for some of these names as well. And we helped Harry's, the shaving company, acquire the manufacturing facility in the Eisfeld, and now helping them roll out in the UK. But what about China? Everyone talks about China. How important should we place on China? What importance should we place on it? Well, you know this data, but large markets matter. And one province of China is the same size as Germany in terms of population. And Chinese tourism is on the rise, and we see it continuously. You can see the hockey stick in terms of spending on outbound tourism by Chinese. And most importantly for us, as we think about building big businesses here in Europe, we see that is China an exit partner for us? Would they acquire our companies? And this is the number of deals, close to 90 deals up until February of 2016. I think the true number for calendar year 2016 would even be higher. But most importantly, and the last thing I'll say is, really, why do we do what we do? You know, why technology? And the truth is, we want to solve a very hard problem with technology. That's the crux of it. We want to fix a pain, an everyday pain point in an individual or a business's life. Let's use an example. Let's use two examples, very simplistic. Access to information. We know this data. Employment in the newspaper and periodicals, traditional publishing industries, is dropping at a dramatic rate. And even though you may or may not like Twitter, I don't use it, but it has 100 million daily active users. It's real time, it's democratized, and it's universally available. Unfortunately, sometimes we have to forsake some things because of it, because of technology. And you know, I almost fell into a state of depression yesterday because our newly elected president has benefited off of this technology in the United States. Energy, climate change, solving really hard problems. And I do get really inspired by moonshots. I don't know if you saw the announcement for building tile roofs for houses by Elon Musk. So the question for us is, as investors, is it not our duty to invest in moonshots? To do something really defining and changing in addition? And what is that impact of technology today? So we looked at an OECD study, and we looked at, you know, top earners, middle class, and low income. And we said, what is the impact of technology on them? Well, we said the top earners, you know, with low interest rates and appreciating assets, they'll be okay. The low income and lower classes, they'd already jumped 2 categories up, according to OECD studies. But what happens to the middle class? And it wasn't totally clear how the impacts of technology. And what we really see is that we want to enable the middle class to grow through the impacts of technology, be it in transportation, travel, most notably education. And I'm fortunate to say at least we have 4 logos on this website that are our portfolio companies. So I leave you with a final thought here. You know, where do we want to spend our time? We want to be in global markets. We want to make an impact for everyday people and everyday businesses. But I think it is our duty to have defining technology and not only cater to companies for the middle class and help them grow, but also as our duty to foster and think about moonshots, both in the European and global ecosystems. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you, Manu.